Chapter 192. Commander? When had he arrived? The sudden presence caught Yidhir by surprise, but that feeling quickly dissipated as Kishir approached. I have watched and listened to what you have been up to all day today. You truly didn't rest even for a moment. I did rest. It wasn't particularly strenuous. Since when did not strenuous and resting mean the same thing? Did you perhaps come because you are displeased with the new training plan proposal I announced today? Why would that be the case? On the contrary, you did it too well. That's the problem. With a small smile and subtle furrowing of his eyebrows, Kishir gently settled onto the edge of the long table. I am really worried. What am I to do with my assistant who doesn't even know how to rest? You don't need to do anything. Should you really be out like this just after a day, Commander? If you're worried, would you rest with me in the bedroom like yesterday? He responded with an insinuation that Kishir, who hardly ever sleeps and is always working, wasn't in a position to advise him. However, Kishir's comeback was even more pointed. When did we rest together? Having a pleasant conversation in the bedroom without doing anything else is generally referred to as resting. That's a nice phrase called there is a nice phrase called sick room visit. Furthermore, didn't their conversation mainly revolve around work? As he retorted sharply, Kishir chuckled. You're right, I have lost this round. Despite declaring his defeat, the energy radiating from him was cheerful and gentle. Yidhir forcefully pulled his gaze away from Kishir's captivating face and opened his mouth. You surely didn't come all the way down here just to joke. Why are you here? I was curious whether you received the second gift I left at your quarters. Kishir finally got to the point, recalling the red medium in his possession. He nodded. Yes, I have confirmed it. It was a gift beyond Yidhir's wildest expectations. How could he possibly articulate the surprise he felt when he saw it yesterday? Kishir's face too bore a satisfied smile as he noticed Yidhir's faint smile and brightened eyes. Did you like it? I thought you would. Yes, I am truly thankful for your... I had 2 knights from the Paleta order in the capital waiting in turn to buy the new product. It's not accepting reservations, you see. Pardon? Interrupting my thanks, he expected words caused me to forget what I was saying. Though it's made from fruit, no one has yet discovered the secret to its beautiful color and taste. It truly deserves to be called one of the capital's specialties. I'm glad that it suited your taste as well. It makes giving it a gift a worthwhile. Are you talking about candy? The only gift I gave you was that. Did you receive something else? Faced with his natural smile, Yidhir blinked for a moment before exhaling a long breath. So, he's keeping the fact that he gave me the medium officially a secret. Even though no one was around, you never know who might be listening in people's affairs. It couldn't hurt to be careful. No, I didn't. I will enjoy it. There's no need to savor it too much, but you can't eat it all in one day either. If you eat too much, it will rot your teeth. So, you're only allowed to have up to 5 a day. Yes. Indeed, it was somewhat unnerving to receive affectionate advice in an exaggerated manner as if he was a child. But what could be done? At this moment, Kishir was the commander and Yidhir was his assistant. Upon hearing Yidhir's awkward response, Kishir burst into a vibrant smile, dusting off his seat and rose. Shall we have a late dinner now? Have you not eaten yet? You haven't either. While it was simply that either had skipped dinner because of advising the members, it was a mystery why Kishir, who had no such obligation, had not eaten yet. Has Nathan Zuckerman left the place? I understand, but the cafeteria might be already closed. There is no need to eat within the quarters. There are plenty of eateries outside. Kishir casually responded and nonchalantly adjusted the bracelet around his wrist. His face and hair blurred momentarily, transforming into an unremarkable brown hair and faint facial features. In retrospect, he was not in cavalry attire from the start. Only then did Yudhir realize, with a hint of disappointment, that Kishir had planned this from the beginning. You certainly came well prepared. I tend to be meticulous. Kishir cheerfully took Yudhir's comment and extended his hand with a jovial expression. We have been working without a break since this morning. Shouldn't we relax over dinner? Let me show you what it means to rest. Let's go. There was not even a hint of room for refusal. Considering he hadn't planned to leave the cavalry today, it was somewhat a relief that he hadn't put on the conspicuous black cavalry outerwear. Yudhir hurriedly followed Kishir, who strode out as if he could fly. The nightlife inside the seventh wall after the harvest festival was quieter than before, but the ambiance seemed somewhat brighter. Kishir, who had easily pierced through all sorts of shortcuts within the Imperial Knights' quarters, was now effortlessly blending into the common folk in the streets. Yudhir, trailing behind him, suddenly turned into a conversation of drunkards passing by. Maybe they reclaimed the body because of the incident at the Apeto's family. The funeral got cancelled. Are they never going to hold it? We common folks can't possibly understand the inner workings of the high and mighty, but that third son was truly exceptional. They are talking about the incident at the funeral of Lenoshan Apeto. Yudhir was shocked that the news was spread so widely, even though he had heard it directly from Kishir, who was responsible for disrupting the funeral. But while Yudhir was lost in thought, watching the departing drunkards, someone grabbed his wrist. When he looked up, it was Kishir, who had changed his appearance. I turned around while walking and got surprised when I didn't see you. Oh, I apologize. I wonder what caught your attention so much. I was just lost in some thoughts. He couldn't confess that he was eavesdropping on a conversation about the Apeto family, so he averted his gaze. Kishir exhaled a short sigh and looked away, his gaze fixed on the three drunkards who had disappeared around the corner of the alley. If you wanted to drink instead of having dinner, you should have told me. No, that's not it. There's no harm anyway, so you can consume whatever you want. Despite saying no, it was a little use. Kishir, taking hold of Yudhir's wrist, changing their direction and heading somewhere else. The place where he stopped was in front of an old tavern, where laughter could be heard leaking out. Entering through the door, hanging beneath an almost broken wooden sign, Kishir looked around several times before promptly finding an empty seat and sitting down. Sit. Other than the pillars where the lanterns hung and the table stacked with plenty of alcohol, the rest of the place was intentionally left dark. The place was filled with a strong smell of alcohol that one could get drunk just by sniffing it. But surprisingly, the atmosphere wasn't bad at all. As Yudhir instinctively checked the surroundings for anyone who looked dangerous, the man with a bandit-like expression wearing an apron approached and slammed down 2 large beer mugs. 2 beers. Anything else you need? We will need a side dish, Southern-style roast pork leg, and if you have the ingredients, some fried beans as well. As cashier casually responded with a wink, the bandit-like man grinned. Nice combination. I'll bring it over soon. He served us beer right away, even though we didn't order any. That's the only thing they sell. Cashier casually replied to Either's murmuring comment after the man had disappeared. You seem to come here often. True, I am someone who never misses a good time anywhere. I know almost all the stories within the capital. Cashier chuckled while downing his beer nonchalantly. The owner of this place is a retired mercenary who used to work as a bodyguard in the Inner Wall district. He started this place using his connections, so they have quite a variety of dishes. The taste of alcohol is not bad either. I see. Either was surprised that he hadn't known about such a place, despite having lived such much longer than Cashier before dying. In his previous life, he had never come to such a place with him either. Do you often come to places like this when you go out at night? It would seem difficult to come alone though. Of course, I don't come alone. Cashier cut him short. I have people to meet. People to meet? No, never mind. Not lovers of the night. Cashier let out a laugh as if guessing what Either was thinking. Friends or subordinates or informants or people I need to observe. There are always plenty of people to meet. Friends, subordinates, informants, and subjects of observation. Either was taken aback that none of the words he had anticipated were included. Even in his previous life, Cashier often went out and came back, changing his appearance frequently. After initially asking him where he was going and receiving a reply not to ask, he had written it off as simply nighttime fun and completely ignored it. Just as the present Either was different from the Either of the past, the Cashier of the past was definitely different from the current Cashier. Thinking about it, the past Cashier had certainly put up walls and tried to push Either away. Seeing the contrast between the past Cashier, who would not answer anything, and the current Cashier, who would answer any question asked, Either felt the distinct difference he hadn't noticed before and felt a little odd. Were you surprised? No. Either forcefully pushed away the memories from his previous life. Shortly after, a plateful of dishes arrived. The southern-style roasted pork leg, heavily sprinkled with spices, tasted less overwhelming than he had expected.